Hello everyone, it's Ngozi and I'm back with another video. And in today's video I'm going to be talking about the topic of natural hair and femininity. Is natural hair feminine? If you're interested, make sure you stay tuned, subscribe, like this video, and let's get into it. Alright, so I may be a little late to the party, but I noticed a video a couple months ago and I had a lot in my watch later and I've just been catching up on them. A lady made a TikTok, I believe. I'll try and insert it here and play a little bit of it. But she talked to basically natural hair not being feminine, natural black women's hair and not growing, it not being the standard, how most people, she doesn't feel confident in it, she prefers straight hair, that's just how she feels, so forth and so forth. And to be honest, from that video, I have a lot of empathy and compassion for that woman because she even made a comment along the lines of like she doesn't look good like in any style, but especially not natural hair. And she obviously has like some self-esteem issues, which a lot of people do, and she's obviously been through some things and has some views about herself, right? But with that standing, I think that it takes a lot of courage to really say how you feel, because we live in a day and age where everyone is just sugarcoat stuff and we just say what we think is politically correct, but it's not really how we feel. And I'm sure she got a lot of backlash from that, you know, especially the natural hair community, which is toxic within itself. Just to start off with that, I think we need to listen to people, and when people tell us how they feel, it's not our job to convince them otherwise. It's not always your job to try and, you know, make them see things differently. Just listen. You know what I mean? Listen for understanding. I feel like a lot of times when we hear, you know, people have different viewpoints from us, so they think differently than us, we're so quick to go on the attack and try and tear them down or tell them they shouldn't think this way or accuse them of this and that, instead of just actually listening to them, because at the end of the day, that's their experience. So it doesn't do a disservice to tell someone that how they feel and their experience is not valid, because then that's not fair. That's their experience. You don't have to agree with it, but that's how they feel, and their feelings are a result of their experiences in life. But the statement, is natural hair feminine, is triggering for a lot of people, for sure. I know there's a lot of talk, you know, about natural hair. Can it be feminine? Is it masculine? And I think this roots in a lot of, you know, anti-black sentiments, for sure. I think it roots into how we view straight hair versus natural hair. Right? It's almost like how we view like white and black, like what those colors represent for a lot of people, purity versus darkness. I think that natural hair has always been associated with like kind of being like unkept, untidy, not professional. I know where I'm coming from. My family's Nigerian, and it's crazy because you would think it's a black country and people wear their hair out natural. No. Not at all. And I noticed even certain comments when I used to wear my hair out natural, even for family members, it was like, when are you going to do your hair? Like, I feel like natural hair has had that idea of like, almost like childlike, like you're an adult now, like you need to like do something different. Like there's a lot that goes behind that. There's a lot of unpacking that needs to be done. But those type of sayings and, you know, belief systems and thoughts are why we're even having this conversation. And I had to go back to the definition to just be politically correct to understand what exactly feminine means. So I'm going to give you guys two definitions, the adjective definition, the noun definition. Okay, so the adjective, what does feminine mean? Considered to be characteristic of women. Another definition, of or relating to or being a woman or girl. There's also the use of feminine in regards to poetry, and there's a musical cadence. So the noun definition of feminine is the embodiment or conception of an idealized feminine nature. The set of qualities and features traditionally associated with women. All right. So you look at the definition of feminine. There's nothing about straight hair. There's nothing about natural hair. There's nothing about curly. There's nothing about straight. There's nothing about tosh. Like a lot of what we define feminine as in this day and age, especially with all this content out there, femininity content, which I also have my qualms with them, could be a little bit toxic. People are coming up with their own definitions of what feminine is and, you know, putting that on other people. From this definition, feminine didn't mention anything about hair or texture. Do I believe natural hair is feminine? Yes. And it's not the hair that makes someone feminine, it's overall behavior, right? But I do believe you can look very feminine with natural hair. And I think that us being Black women particularly, our very being, our very essence is us in our natural state, right? So how can you say that feminine hair is not natural? And one of the definitions literally qualities, features, traditions associated with women, like it's who we are as women, especially as Black women. Natural hair for sure is feminine. But because I always like to look at the other side of things on this channel. So if you're not someone that likes to look at things critically or intuitively, you may have issues with my opinions, and that's fine. But with all that being said, natural hair is feminine. Yes, I do understand why some people, like this woman in the TikTok video, have this idea of natural hair not being feminine. And it kind of goes back to what I said earlier. People make a lot of these comments and assumptions. It comes to conclusions based on what they've seen. So for her, she was really pulling onto length. I have a video about the different stages of hair growth. Watch that video, I'll link it down below. She said black hair doesn't grow. It's not true. Black hair grows at the equal rate of any other race of hair. The issue is that it's equally breaking because of the texture of our hair. A lot of oil doesn't get to the ends of our hair, and we manipulate our hair on average a lot compared to other people, and a lot of people don't really take care of their hair. So does natural hair grow? Yes, it does grow. So we have to, we have to address that. However, does the average Black woman have long natural hair? No, they don't. Right? So let's be real. Let's have a real conversation. They do not. So I'm assuming where this lady's from, the people that she grew up with, maybe her aunts, her mother, her siblings, her family members, her cousins, she didn't grow up seeing a lot of Black women with long hair who weren't mixed. Because I feel like a lot of times when you try to have this, this debate, a lot of people try and jump in. Oh, my auntie, my mom, this person's long hair. Yeah, I get it. Black people can have long hair, but I'm also going to take out people with Indian in their family. Take off people with European admixture in their family. I'm talking about black, purebred Black, no mixture, because that does affect length. And like I said, what did I say initially? All hair grows, but because of the hair pattern, the curl pattern of Black hairs, particularly 4C hair, it's harder to retain length because oil does not get to the tips, and because of manipulation, the tangling, all those things. So the reason why a lot of people who are mixed or not 100% Black have longer hair is because their hair doesn't tangle as much. Their hair doesn't break as much, so they're able to retain their hair. So there's a science behind it. I don't like people trying to argue, oh, I watch some videos, oh, hair is not genetic. Yes, it is. Stop that. That's like me saying weight is not genetic. That's disingenuous. Hair is definitely, there's definitely a genetic component to hair length. Definitely. Don't play that game. That's childishness. Don't come here and say that, oh, everyone's hair can be the same length. It's not true. Can everyone achieve healthy, decent hair? Of course, but some people have fuller hair, some people have thicker hair, some people naturally have certain types of hair. That's genetic. So don't say that everyone's hair can be to their behind. No. Can some people, I talk about on this channel about going past my growth plateau, and I'll link it down below, how I finally broke that plateau, got past shoulder length. I was excited, So you can definitely break through certain, lengths, but you have to do extra work. Same way someone who has obesity in their family can also lose weight, but they have to do more than somebody who is naturally slim and people in their family don't get big. So let's be real, there is a genetic component to hair growth and length. Not growth, but there is a genetic component to hair length, and that's a result of hair texture. But that's a conversation for another day. So, I understand, I feel like when you hear her video, of course, there's a lot of self-hate involved, and she's a little bit extreme about the wigs. Like I said, I'm not here to discount someone's feelings, how they feel and how they see themselves is what's important. It's not about what I see and how I feel. It's about what they see and how they feel. So we're discounting a lot of things that were said in that video that aren't accurate, but we have to understand there's a texturism thing as well. Length and texturism, I think that's a big part to do with how people view natural hair, and then can be tied into the feminine part. Because I think the reason why a lot of people don't look at natural hair as feminine, or some people don't look at natural hair as feminine, is because of the way they've seen certain people wear their natural hair. right? Like I said, there's a lot of we're in a different time now, so I feel like the natural hair movement really grew, and especially in this part of the world. I live in America, and people are wearing all these beautiful styles, and you see natural hair that's kept very well. But like back in the day, I don't think it was always like that. So even if you think about watching like documentaries and seeing pictures of like slaves, in 1800s, there's a look that natural hair has. So I think that's what people think about. Some people think about when they try and put natural hair under the umbrella of not being feminine, because they think of like an unkept look, which does not apply to most natural people, in my opinion. But maybe that's what they're seeing, or that's the image that's being projected to them. Because let's be real, you can have unkept straight hair, you can have your hair in a messy ponytail, but because of the way we've been conditioned, I feel as if people will look past straighter hair that doesn't look as good and give it that pass because it's straight. That's me speaking the truth. So even if you have a little ponytail and your edges are not done and it's like crooked or whatever, it doesn't look really the best, versus someone walking in with that type of hair and it was in a natural state, I feel like the person with the straight hair would get away with it more. And that has to do with our conditioning and how we've been conditioned to see natural hair as Black people, right? And how others have been conditioned to see our hair. Even thinking about other Black hairstyles, how there's a long conversation about our dreadlocks professional, our sister locks professional. I've seen places recently where women were asking, I'm going on an interview, should I cover up my sister locks? Should I wear a wig? These are real conversations people are having, and people that don't get it, but these are real things. And why does someone with sister locks feel like they have to cover that? Because of the stigma, because they don't want to come off as unprofessional. Right? So I feel like when we try and dismiss people and say, oh no, just do what you want, or oh my God, you don't, it's like we're kind of telling them that their experience isn't real and that their feelings aren't valid. And these are real things that Black women, particularly like thicker haired 4C Black women, deal with. So I definitely understand. What I would say is that what I got to take away from the video as someone who was on their straight hair natural journey is that you can't force natural hair on everyone. And I really wish that a lot of the natural people would just drink tea and just relax, because sometimes it's just too much. It's just too much. It's too much. It's like, y'all don't get tired of trying to live someone else's life for them. You can't force things on people. You can, I understand some things people say are wild, their beliefs are wild. You don't have to agree with it. That's fine. But I feel like we're in this time and place where people want people to just believe what they believe, and they just want people to do what they want to do. And you can't do that. People have a right to feel how they feel. They have a right to do what they want. We're all grown adults. I can't come in here and tell a grown woman how to wear her hair. I can't. That's not my place. I have a preference of how I want to wear my hair. I have styles that I prefer, but I can't come here and tell a grown adult what they should do for their best interest when it comes to hair, something as fickle as hair. Like, that's ridiculous. So what I've learned being on these YouTube streets for a couple of years is that let people do what they want to do. Even when I mentioned possibly perming, oh, cancer, people are so quick to put all these comments. It's like there's a way you say something. Yeah, it's like almost like they're trying to convince you against your decision. And if you know in life, most times when people want to do something and people come so hard at them against it, it makes you want to do it more, to be honest. So if y'all really here trying to keep people not perming their hair, have people wearing their hair more, you got to come with a little bit more grace, a little bit more class, and a little bit more style. Because it's like Christians who want people to come to church and they condemn it. No, that doesn't help. That pushes people away from you. So I've learned, I just let people do what they want to do. It's not my job to tell that woman in the video that she should not wear wigs and learn to love her hair, because it's not that easy. We're simplifying it. Like I said, she knows what she's been through. She knows why she feels the way she feels. She knows how she gets looked at with that wig versus without that wig. That's why she's coming to those conclusions. There's a lot of self-hate definitely in that video. There's some trauma. There's things I could just tell, that woman is in pain. But I understand. I'm able to have that empathy and be like, I can only imagine what you've been through. And I'm not here to judge you or to bash you or make you feel like what you're saying isn't valid. Right? So when it comes to the discussion of natural hair and femininity, natural hair can definitely be feminine. Natural hair is definitely feminine. But we would be remiss to not talk about the history behind natural hair and the reason why some people are quick to label natural hair as like masculine, or quick to label it as not feminine because of their stereotypes. That's the word. Their stereotypes around natural hair, which are not necessarily true. Most times they're not true. But people are usually make stereotypes and come to these conclusions, these assumptions based on their lived experiences, right? But I feel feminine in my natural hair. I feel feminine with my real hair. I feel feminine when my hair is too straight to it. I feel feminine when I got my bust down wig on. Like, I think femininity goes way past and beyond hair. To be honest, to me, it's a mindset. To be honest, it's the way you carry yourself is more than hair. Let me know how you all feel about this topic. Is natural hair feminine? Yes or no? And when people are quick to look at natural hair as not being feminine, what do you think their reasons are? Why do they not think natural hair is feminine? Like, what about it is, like, what does femininity mean to them? Or like, what are they getting at when they speak to what they think is feminine or not? I'm curious to see your comments down below. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video, and I'll see you in my next one.